on to St. Louis, which is Tyler.
Yeah, I had some difficulties with this one. So I'll just start by saying we got that I had Vladimir Tarasenko on the protected list. However, there is a report floating in the media via The Athletic that apparently he wants a trade. So we will look at that. I mean, I think still what they could potentially get back as opposed to losing him for nothing in the expansion draft. I would keep him on the protected list. Ryan O'Reilly's obvious. Braden Schenn's obvious. Jaden Schwartz, not as obvious, but longest serving member of the Blues, I believe. So only 28 still, so definitely want to have him. Same as David Perron, although a little older, a key piece there. Then I've had a little more debate about it. Sammy Blais, I think they really believe in Sammy Blais, and he's still under contract for next season at $1.5 million. Then he's an RFA, so I think they're really committed to Blais. And then initially I had Zach Sanford protected, but Robert Thomas at 21 years old and an up-and-comer, what would be an attractive target for Seattle if he was available on the exposed group here. And then for defense, I've got Torrey Krug and Colton Parayko. I think those are a couple of obvious ones. And then I have Justin Faulk on there as well, who can play both sides, and I think it's important for them to protect. But but with St. Louis, I mean, I kind of had some struggles with this because, yes, they've been a good team in recent years, but then you look at their playoff result this year, getting swept in the first round, and think, well, maybe they won't be afraid to see somebody key go and potentially free up some cap space and retool from there.
I have a B. I do have. Can I start this one?
Sure,
absolutely.
I think Jordan Kyrou would be a guy I would keep as well. I would expose Tarasenko, even if Tarasenko did. I would that now that he's if this is true, I would expose Tarasenko and I would keep a Jordan Kyrou. There's a lot of young forwards on that team that, going forward, that they do have the youth there in St. Louis is interesting. And in terms of they have some good, well-roundedness, but Jordan Kyrou would be one that I would be keeping. I do agree with you about Sammy Blais for sure. I'm glad you found a way to get Robert Thomas on there because that would have been a no-brainer for me for Seattle. That's a guy that you almost like. That's almost the face of the franchise type of guy. But Jordan Kyrou would be the one that I had my one, I would say.
Yeah.
For me, I don't know if I would protect David Perron. He's 33 years old. He's a UFA at the end of next year. You have a lot of RFAs that could potentially, I'm not saying they're going to be a David Perron, but you had Sanford on there, Zachary Sanford. Ivan Barbashev, I think he is a bit of an underrated player. He hasn't really played up to where you want him to be. He's 25, RFA this year. And then you also have, like Kevin said, Jordan Kyrou. I think you got to. I think you have to protect him overall. On the back end, Justin Faulk. Man, that's a big cap hit until 2027. Holy, he's 29. I feel like I know Vince Dunn has been on the chopping block within potential trade out of St. Louis, but overall he's 24. He's an RFA this year. If you can try and find a dancing partner that would want to take a Vince Dunn off of your hands and get some sort of draft picks or another blue chip prospect, if you will, out of whoever is wanting to dance with you for Vince Dunn, I think that is good as well. But those are kind of the RFAs, the young guys that I think that they're potentially would want to keep. Once again, it's about where your window is at within that organization. I think they're in a bit of a win now mode kind of mentality. And man, that one's a hard one. I don't know exactly where I would go within that, Tyler. So props to you for standing by your picks, but there definitely are a bunch of other players on there that you could definitely see getting protected over others.
Yeah, my sense with St. Louis is that, rightly or wrongly, having recently won a Stanley Cup, that loyalty may factor into some of these decisions. And again, I say rightly or wrongly because that, maybe that's not the shrewd way to go, but that's that's a feeling I have. Like David Perron, this is his third go with St. Louis, and then to lose him in the expansion draft, I think that would surprise me a little bit. But as far as if I wanted, I'd one more do-over on this. Perhaps Perron at his age, maybe leave him off the protected list in exchange for one of those other forwards you mentioned.
You also have Jaden Schwartz, who's a UFA in this summer.
Yeah,
I don't know where. Again, we don't know where their negotiations are going with him. If they're not going well, then that's an easy unprotect, and then that opens a spot for Jordan Kyrou. I would protect Tarasenko just to protect the asset.
Yeah, that's my thinking there too.
Oh. I know he wants out, but you got to protect the asset. You don't want to lose him for nothing. Even if that does open up $7.5 million in cap it, I still think you're going to be able to get something for him.
Yeah, he's too big of an impact player still to just see him go bye-bye like that.
Mm-hmm. Another one, just quickly, Oscar Sundqvist is an interesting player. But as well,
not to mention he did go through what he went through this year or in the past year with cancer as well.
No, that's Oscar Lindblom.
No, Lindblom. Sorry, there you go.
The other Oscar.
Me with names. My apologies.